So I thought that cornmeal buns, along with a super easy BBQ pork seitan corn bun, would be excellent for this season. And it's so easy to make, so I hope you all enjoy. For those of you without a mixer, we can do this by hand, and we've done this dough before. It's 150 grams of flour, I have some cornmeal, some yeast, some sugar, and then half a cup of warm water. Recipe is going to be all down below. And people, I am doing a very special lecture series on baos on Skillshare, and that is coming out next week. We're going to talk all about the different kinds of flours, the different kinds of bao doughs, a little bit of the science behind it as well. So that's going to be quite fun. I'm going to link to the dumplings class that I've already done down below. Now, what I'm doing here is typically what I always do. I start with chopsticks because I don't really want to get all of that gunk in my hands. And until the flour starts absorbing it, it gets a little bit drier. Then I start kneading it by hand. Now, as with any flour dough, I always add a little less liquid than I think that I would need because this is really temperature dependent. So sometimes I will need a little less water, sometimes I will need a little bit more, and I just add a little bit at a time towards the end, just until the ball of dough starts coming together and becoming less sticky. And then we're gonna knead it for right around 5 to 6 minutes until it gets smoother. Now comes the really easy filling, and y'all can use whatever meat substitute that you want, but I've been really enjoying the pulled pork burger from the Linda McCartney line lately. So I'm just gonna use one of those. It's already a little bit seasoned, so depending on your seitan patty or whatever meat substitute that you use, you're gonna wanna adjust the barbecue sauce a little bit. I like this patty in general because it does break off into kind of pulled pork chunks like this. Afterwards, I'm going to add a half of a chopped up red onion, a little bit of corn as well, and then you just mix and season to taste, and that's it. So the dough has been rising for about 1 hour in a warm place, and you just want to scoop it out and then give it a little knead just to wake everything back up, redistribute the yeast. And then afterwards, you want to roll it into a long log and then divide it up into 6 equal pieces. So the benefit of getting it into that log shape first is when you do cut them into 6 pieces, you already have cross sections of a circle. And all we're doing is we're kind of adjusting and making sure it's circular a bit and then pressing it down into discs. And then that way it's so much easier to roll it out. Now, for those who have never rolled baos or dumplings with us before, welcome. But what I'm doing here is I like to roll the discs into right around 3 to 4 inches in diameter first, just a flat disc. And then afterwards, focusing on the edges, I'm going to concentrate on making that outer inch just a little bit thinner than the center. And that way, the thicker center is able to hold more of that wet filling, while the outer bits are thinner and easier for pleating and folding later. So I'd say these buns are a little bit larger and I like to fill them up a little bit more. So still like 1 to 2 tablespoons. And then what I do now is I just make little pleats, little folds, like as if you were making a paper fan. Only as you fold, you just want to twist the dough around until you make it around the full circle. So one hand does the pleating while the other hand, the other thumb, I use to press down the filling because it does have a tendency to escape. And then towards the end, I just seal up everything. I just kind of continue with that circle and then make sure that I have like a little bit of a divot in the middle. And that's purely for decoration. You can choose to close this hole up. You can not pleat at all if you don't want to. Now I'm just putting the buns onto the rack and then covering them for 30 minutes so that they can rest before putting them in a steamer that has not yet been preheated. I find a little spritz of water keeps the buns from cracking, and I'm just going to cover this. I'm going to bring it up to a boil and then lower it down to medium and cook these buns for right around 12 minutes until they get nice and big and fluffy. Oh boy, this guy is so nice with the corn because it's just a little bit sweet. You have that barbecue sauce that's like tangy as well. And then you have just like a little bit of roughness from the cornmeal in the buns. And it's super autumnal, super amazing, and I am sure that you guys will love it. Anyways, I hope you all have enjoyed that recipe, and if any of you are interested in those Skillshare classes, I have a link down below in the description box for a 2-month free premium trial. So you can check out all of the classes that you want. You can check out my dumpling class, you can check out my new buns class coming up too. As usual, if you want to see more recipes like this, remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys all again next time. Bye!